What About Vietnam? A podcast with Gary Newsom. The series where Curry talks with travellers about their experiences and adventures. Find out more about Vietnam from the people who have actually been there.
What about Vietnam?
Whether it's adventure, exploring the culture and cuisine, shopping, or just soaking up the sun. Let Carrie and her travellers pave the way for a magical holiday in Vietnam.
What about Vietnam?
Xin chào and welcome to the What About Vietnam podcast. Today we're venturing into northern Vietnam and we're venturing to an area called Ha Giang, sometimes called the Ha Giang Loop. We're going to be doing that with the lovely Ying. Now, Ying comes from northern Vietnam. She's actually a guide. She comes from the Black Hmong minority group, and she takes tours, individuals and very small groups around that area very successfully. And I just thought she would be able to give you some real depth and understanding to what's involved in touring this region, because it is one of those areas where it takes a little bit of thought, preparation. So I do encourage you, to do your research to make sure that this is right for you. But I think you're going to find this episode like jam-packed with, pretty much all the information you're going to need to make that decision. You're really going to hear from time to time some very authentic sounds. And that's coming from the area in which I'm interviewing Ying. So, they don't really interrupt anything. It's clear as a bell, but you will get the feeling that you are possibly, in amongst a few chickens and family and kids and, stuff like that. But I think it just adds all to the character of the show. So, welcome back, everyone that follows me. Thank you so much for your support, and a big hello to all my new listeners. Without further ado, let's get into Ha Giang. Now, Ha Giang is characterized by, towering limestone casts, winding mountain passes, terrace rice fields, and changing colours with the seasons. Words like breathtaking, unbelievable are often referred to about this area. The last show I did on Ha Giang was with Tom Stone back in Series 3, Episode 5, and that would be another reference point for you, and I'll put the link in the show notes if you want to go and explore there. Now, in some way, it's kind of an area that is steeped kind of back in time. Visitors can immerse themselves in the culture of various ethnic groups in the area, each with unique traditions and festivals. Let's welcome Ying to the show. Ying, it's a pleasure to have you with us. How are you?
Hello. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks, Ying. It's really great to have you on the show. I'm very excited to chat with you.
It's really nice to meet you here too. Looking forward to that.
Okay, Ying. Now I'm going to ask you lots and lots of questions, as I'm sure when you have your travellers and you go around Ha Giang, they do the same thing. But firstly, can I ask you a little bit about your personal background and growing up in Ta Van village in Sapa? Tell me a little bit about that.
So I'm from Ta Van originally. I grew up in the farm, like normal farming. And even today, my family still farm. So then when I was a kid, I had a dream that I don't want to farmer. Then I had to find some way to leave the farm and do what because when at that time it was like the year of 2000, and I was only 9. So I see some tourists come to my village, and I thought, maybe this is a good job for the future. And then I had a dream that I want to be independent. So then I start to learn English. So I start to sell the handicraft to the tourists come to my village. Then I start to learn English. After, I think it's about two years later, then I moved to Sapa town. It's very small, and small town at that time. We have like 30,000 in the whole area. Then I start to learn more English and I make more friends, and that's how I become a tour guide after all.
Wow. So you actually got your dream.
Mm-hmm. I got my dream because I want to be a tour guide.
That is fantastic. Yeah. I love that you had that vision for yourself. Was there something else in your family, or were there people in your family that kind of encouraged you to do this, inspired you to do this?
No, I don't have any family members who were doing the tour, like selling handicraft, but my cousin, she speak English and she was already guide at that time. So I think I say to myself, I want to be like her, and this is my dream job, and I have to get there.
And so this is part of Dragon Mountain family group. Yeah, that is you and your cousin, yes. Right?
Yeah, me, my sister, and my cousin.
Oh, fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, for my listeners that, look at Instagram and, TikTok and all the social media, there's lots and lots of photos and videos, and everybody's an expert and everybody's doing it differently. So let's start at the very beginning by talking about Ha Giang, as in where is it? Where is it located in connection to Hanoi?
Ha Giang is north center of Vietnam. So you go directly from Hanoi to Ha Giang, because now where my hometown is northwest and Ha Giang is north.
So from Hanoi, it's about 300 kilometers, I think, roughly.
Yes, that's correct. 320 away from Hanoi.
Okay. And it's about 6 or 7 hours by car?
It's about 6 hours by car, or even like a bus is about 6 hours as well.
Okay. I think with motorbike, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah, not normally. If the people do the motorbike, they would have to travel by province, not straight from Hanoi. It's too far.
Okay. So essentially, Ha Giang is located kind of so far north of Vietnam, it almost borders China, correct?
Yeah, it's near the border. About from Ha Giang City to China is 20 kilometers.
Okay. And if we were to describe this area, tell me if you think this description is a good one. So it's kind of known to be rugged and very remote, and it features a lot of dramatic landscapes, and sometimes it's so deep and the valleys are rich in a colourful array of vegetation. And sometimes when it rains, some of those hills, they collapse onto the road. And sometimes when it's in the right time of the year, it is golden yellow in flourishing rice fields. Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Yeah. So Ha Giang is a little bit warmer than in my hometown. There's similar weather in Hanoi. So they can do 2 harvests per year in the valley, but in the mountain, like let's say 10K away from the Ha Giang city, there is much colder, higher up. It's about 2,000 meters from Ha Giang. So we do have a very green valley and have like a rainforest and national park there, and lots of rice field, and the Red Zao people and the Hmong, they are living in that area. So during the beautiful season of visiting, if you like green, then is in July. It is raining time. But if you like the weather, you like sunny and hot, then I recommend October is the best. Then you see all the yellow valley, because that time everybody will go to harvesting, and some people harvest, some is not yet, but most likely it's ready for harvest.
as far as Ha Giang town is concerned, talk to us a little bit about the town itself before we actually start on the loop. You may see at the beginning of the show notes in the podcast channel that you're listening from some words that say text me a message. It's a great idea. Don't get me wrong. I love hearing from you. And that, whether that's your thoughts on the episodes, some questions, messages of appreciation, I just love the feedback. It's really great. However, I feel it remiss of me to not thank you for them, but to not be able to respond directly to you. So if you have sent me a question, and I've got lots, and you haven't heard from me, there's a really good reason why. I actually don't have the ability in the technology to respond to you. They kind of expect that you would or I would answer the questions in the form of a show. And there's just kind of too many, and I just think it's just too personal not to do it that way. So I wanted to alert you to the fact that if you do send me a message through that connection option, I'm not going to be able to respond to you directly. So if you do have a question, and it is time sensitive, or you want to send me any kind of message, can I suggest the following two ways? One, send me an email to whataboutvietnam@gmail.com. That is the email address that I have the most constant access to, and I will aim to get back to you ASAP. Secondly, if you go to the website for the podcast, which is whataboutvietnam.com, if you scroll right to the bottom, there is a chance for you to leave a voice message. Now, in that voice message, I can respond to you equally with a response in voice. So if you want a quick response, that's your next best way. But I just wanted to get this into the show, make you aware of this, as it really is becoming problematic. And I've just got too many, and I can't kind of go naming people and answering each question. That's just a little bit silly. So if you have sent me a text message before and you're waiting on a message back as a response, I'm so sorry. I cannot do that. But if you want to send the question again, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Okay, so Ha Giang City is right at the valley with a lot of mountain on the side, and there's a river. So the name of the river is Lo, and they're crossing in the middle. So both sides is the Ha Giang City, and they are 7,000 square meters around there, and we have 750,000 people live there. And this day is quite remote, but 10 years ago was much better. And also now for tourists to go to Ha Giang, it's a lot easier because there's many hotel, many hostel, and also a lot of easy rider. They start from there as well. So Ha Giang City is good for the first night you are arriving, you spend the night, and the next day you're ready for the tour.
Right. So for people planning, you're going to arrange transport from Hanoi. It's going to take you about 6 or 7 hours, and you're going to have your first night in Ha Giang City, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so that's one day, because I'm going to get to the part about how much time you need to allow, because sometimes people say, oh, I just, going to go up and come back in 2 days, and you go, actually, no, that's not possible because it takes you a day to get there. So it's important for people to appreciate the timing. My next question is around, while it's possible, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, to explore the area by yourself, tell us a little bit about, do you need a guide to do this well, or can you do it by yourself?
You can choose, because a lot of people, they also do it by themselves too. But one thing that you don't learn much about the area. You will go and you see the beautiful part, but then you don't learn any culture, or you don't know what they're doing there.
From my perspective, this is what I think. Firstly, I think people would struggle with the navigation, just knowing where to go, how to go around things. So I think, it's challenging. It's got winding mountain passes and unpredictable weather. The second thing I think, as you say, is sometimes when, us mere travellers get there and we're looking at things, we don't really know what we're seeing. We don't really understand it. So unless you have a guide like yourself or someone to tell us about this, it doesn't have quite the same impact on us, I think. That's another reason I think having a guide is good. The second last thing is I think about safety. I hear some stories of some tragic things that happen and, even things like getting pulled up by the police and, getting fines and things like that. So there's a range of things that could happen on your trip up there that you wouldn't know how to handle. Yet if you have a guide with you, they can explain it. They've obviously got the language and things like that. And then there's just the convenience. I find a lot of comfort in being with someone who knows that area. Like I've done a lot of traveling. I've got a very close Vietnamese friend, and her and I go traveling a lot to places. And just the advantage of having her with me to A, speak in Vietnamese, but B, also to explain something to me, tell me to avoid something, all that kind of stuff just helps me get it right. So I think navigation is important, getting an understanding of the culture so you know what you're seeing, safety, and I think convenience, having someone by your side to explain things. So they're the things that I think having a guide is all about. Tell me some of the things that when you're taking people around, what are they saying to you? What are they asking you? What are the things that come up for them instantly?
This is a good question. So they would say, how do the tourists found this place? Because a lot of time, if they were in their country, they could not find Ha Giang. I think it's because we spelled it different, and if they want to look online, they spell it different. So that's why it's harder for them
Can't find it. That's right, because it's Giang, but it sounds like Zhang.
Yeah.
Zhang. Yeah. That's a good, I haven't heard that said before. So what else do they say when they arrive in Ha Giang and they have lots of questions? What are some of the questions they ask?
I think I pretty much tell them everything and they don't ask me too much.
I can imagine that. I can imagine that happening. Absolutely.
They would ask me like, how many people living here and what do they do for a living and how do they survive in this rocky mountain? But I also explain like from the beginning, this is how they live and they have to, they don't have rice in that mountain. They cannot plant rice. They have to plant corn, and it's only one crop per year. And we have to start from March till June, July. They collect the corn, and during that time, when they collect the corn, they have to sell it to buy the rice, or they make a rice wine and sell it to make the income.
So they sell the rice wine, the happy wine.
They sell the corn wine.
The corn wine. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that is strong stuff. I've tried a little bit of that and my head nearly blew off. So yeah.
It is quite strong.
It is quite strong, absolutely. And not really easy tasting either. I don't like The tasting.
No, it's not so smooth. It's very whiskey taste.
Yes, absolutely. If you were to paint a picture for a person about Ha Giang, what would you put in that picture? What are the key things that you would put in that picture?
I think I will paint Lolo people or Hmong in between those two.
What people are they? Explain.
Lolo people.
Oh.
Yeah. Have you heard much about them?
No. More about Hmong,
They are very...
Thai and Dao.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because why I want to put that in there, because they're very colorful. The dress are very flower and very pretty. In Vietnam, we don't have many of them. We have like over 4,000 people. And they're living in Ha Giang and basically Meo Vat, Dong Van in Bao Lat district. They're very Chinese. Look.
They are also farmers?
Everyone is farmer.
Everyone is farmer in that region. Unless they get a dream like you and work hard to become guide. If we're talking about getting back to our timing aspect, a day to get there and a day to come back, how many days do you suggest people allow to go around the loop?
So I suggest 3 nights, 4 days, but you can take the night bus from Hanoi. By the night time, you arrive in Ha Giang for the midnight and then you stay at the hotel. The morning you pack, then you guide and the driver pick you up. So you have 3 nights in the mountain and then back. So basically 4 days and 6 nights or 5.5 nights, something like that.
4 to 5 days, yeah, minimum.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. This gives you time for a bit more of a pacing because, as I understand, you are travelling long distances each day. So let's talk about also the way to explore the region. So if we're talking about the loop, talk to us about how many miles you do per day and which is the best way to do it, by car, by bike, by passenger on a bike, etc.
Because everybody have a different experience and everyone wants to try it different, right? So mostly the younger one, like 18 to 30, most of them want to go in an easy rider because they want to experience how like the 1D road. But also it's very dangerous if you don't know how to drive. You must have an easy rider. And beside that, you need to have an international driving license for the police checking. We have like 4 or 5 different police stations checking for the license. And if you don't know this, then you get fined. Every stop, they stop you. You have to pay like $100 per time.
Okay, I want to stop you there. Really so that means you have to have a license, a bike riding license in your own country.
Yes.
And bring that
in Vietnam is recognized.
Yes, and that's only come up in the last couple of months. The laws on you just can't have a car license. You've got to have a bike license. And you have to be considered a experienced rider. So like I had someone contact me this week and they want to do the Ha Giang Loop and they wanted to know about this license, and they have been riding for 15 years in their own country, in New Zealand, and, you know, so they're going to be coming with the right qualifications. But as you say, it's not the place to come to just jump on a bike, hire it straight away from Ha Giang and then go around. That would be considered very dangerous. Now, back to you. So if you don't want to do that way, you can be a passenger on an easy rider. That's what easy rider is about, right?
Yeah.
And that's the kind of younger people, and we understand that. If you don't want to do that, what's the option?
If you don't want to do that, then you can take a car, like a tour guide and a car. So it's much safer. You definitely will see more and learn more because your guide is with you and then you can do some more walking, hiking into the villages, and they will show you like much more than you go by Easy Rider or you drive yourself, because we will measure the time when we do in the day. Every day we have a schedule, so we have full day to do the activity, and then we know what exactly to do.
I hope you're enjoying the show so far. We're going to talk to Ying now a little bit more about the daily activities and how the days roll out. So, stick with us, stay listening. There's a lot more to come. And I think this part of the podcast will be very informative for those who are trying to allocate time and just get a better understanding of what can be achieved on a daily basis. So stick with us, folks. More to come. If I come to you and we leave Ha Giang on a day, how much of that day would be on the road versus
So for the first day, we drive about 150 kilometers away from Ha Giang, but on that way we stop many places. So then we have a fully scheduled, like first place Heaven's Gate, second is the Twin, and then the third is where the lady who weaving the fabric and making the clothing, and then the fourth we stop in one of the town called Ying. That's for lunch, and then we go to the King Palace in Lo Sa, and then Dong Van for the night.
That's just day one.
Yeah.
Right. And where do you stay in the evening?
We stay at the hotel. In Dong Van, you can choose like a hotel or homestay.
Right. Can you explain the difference about a homestay and versus the hotel and the standard?
So hotel, it's in the mountain that is very basic. It's like 2-star or 1-star hotel. It's nothing fancy because it's open for tourism not long ago. And to develop, it's not very okay because it's UNESCO. So you can't build too many fancy. But the homestay, you can stay with the family and spend the night with them and have dinner and see their life, learn about their life and culture.
Okay.
In the evening, you get to share it with them.
Okay. Now, I know this is going to sound very basic, but like things like a shower, private bathroom, toilet, things like that. I know some people don't care at all about it, but for me, I'm an older lady and, those things are important to know. If I know what to expect.
They have everything.
So the hotel, would you have your would you have a private toilet or would it be shared?
You got your own bed. No, the bathroom is in the room, so you have everything private. But sometimes homestay have to sharing.
Right.
Depends what you order, because they have like a little private room that you have everything in the room. If you want to share in the dorm, you can have a dorm. If you want a private room, they give you a private room. Okay.
Good to know. All right. So that's day one. What would be day two?
So day two, we have more options to choose. So we can choose to have breakfast at 7:30. Normally, that's what I do, basically, because it's a long day.
Yeah.
So breakfast 7:30. Then we drive to Long Gu Flat, where the Lolo people living. That is where the border China, about 3 kilometers away, and with a beautiful view, landscape, with the Lolo, Hmong, Thai, and what else? Nung people living in that valley. Then after the view, visit, learn a little bit about the culture and the history about that mountain. Then we come back to Dong Van. Then we drive to Mapilan mountain. That is the most beautiful place the whole trip. Then we would do some hiking.
Okay. The evening, after a long drive, everyone tired because it's been a busy day.
Yeah.
So they stay in another homestay, another homestay. Because I would think.
Every night we stay different.
Right, second night, because not many hotels out there. More homestay.
No, we stay different homestay every night.
Right. Okay. So then on day 3, are we nearly on the loop coming back to Ha Giang or still a long way from Ha Giang?
We go further to Ying in Zuza, so that it's beautiful and discovered not long ago. And it's quite popular for tourists who want to swim, and there's a waterfall. So everybody want to go there and visit. But Zuza village is very beautiful. It's in the valley of the big hill. And
when you go to these places, is there a lot of other tourists there? Like, is it super busy and lots of... It
is super busy, but you choose where you want to be quiet. In less tourists.
And this is where you come in very handy to explain and take people to areas that they couldn't find by themselves, right?
Yeah, yes, that's correct.
Okay, so now we've been 3 days around the loop. What do we do on day 4?
So on the day 4, breakfast, same every morning, same hour for breakfast. Then we drive back to Quảng Bạ, where the first day we have to travel different direction to the first day. Then we will going back to Ha Giang in the afternoon. And some people can take the bus like 4:00, or they can take the sleeping bus to Hanoi, or they decided to go to Sapa by that direction.
Okay. So
so day 4 basically return.
All right. So you check me and tell me if I understand correctly.
Okay.
Day 1, I travel from Hanoi to Ha Giang City.
Yes. Yeah.
Day 2, 3, 4, I am traveling around the loop. Day 5 is the last day, and I come back into Ha Giang, but a different way. And I can, but if I got back late, wouldn't I want to stay the night and then go back to Hanoi the next day?
You can also do that, or you can catch the late night bus at 10 o'clock.
At 10 o'clock. Wow.
At 10 p.m. So you can leave late in the nighttime.
Right.
And you arrive here at about 3 a.m.
So now I'm going to ask a very tricky question, as in, who are the type of people who this is best for? Like, I'm not the most, no, I'll say this another way. I'm not the best outdoor person. That's the best way to describe it. I am very circumspect about where I travel in Vietnam and if I'm capable of doing the level of trekking involved so that I don't injure myself for the rest of the stay. So, like, is there, like, for you, do you try and guide people that are mostly younger people or older people, or like I need some kind of understanding of level of fitness?
Yeah. So I mostly guide my customer around your age. They're not always young.
You're kidding? Really?
No. Yeah.
Okay.
They're around 50 plus.
Yeah.
Mostly.
That's me.
And family. So, So for the options of trekking, you can choose. If you cannot do this trekking, and I can always find you another direction that it's easy for you. So there is always option, because it's like I know the area well. I don't have to just take only one trade the whole time. I can always change when I normally do tour, I always say, how far can you go, and how is your health condition? So then I can I can decide on that day what schedule we're taking.
That's very comforting to hear. But like your experience now, you've been doing this for quite a long time. What would be I'm trying to understand the general population of people that would come to you. Are they mostly 50 or because firstly they have to find you, and I just want to let everyone know that's listening, I'm going to put Ying's link in the show notes. So you don't have to remember everything she says. You're going to be able to communicate with her directly through her website. I also advise a lot of people on putting trips together. So I plan the trip. So someone arrives into Hanoi and maybe they do Ninh Binh and maybe they do Sapa and then I can arrange to come to you and I plan everything. In this next segment, Ying's going to help us get a better understanding of just preparation to come. I think it's really important when you're going to, a northern Vietnam region like this, just with its aspects of comfort, with making sure you're prepared for different weather conditions and getting around so that you can really enjoy it. It's all about the preparation. So stick with us as we get into some detail on that in this next segment. What do they need to know before they come? Like what is like about clothing, about health and fitness, about everything like that? What would you say?
So because different season, I will tell you what to bring. So in summer, usually in the nighttime temperature drop in the mountains, so you always have to bring one long sleeves, but mostly long pants or long trousers is always good because we have mosquito when you do the hiking around the villages. And in summer it's quite hot, so you always have to bring a lot of sun cream. In case if it's raining, you need to have a jacket, like a rain jacket or umbrella, whatever. Sun cream, mosquito sprays, insect sprays, and clothing. In summer, don't really have problem, but winter for us sometimes is not as cold as in Europe or in Australian, but to us we are cold. Like 5 or 10 degrees is quite cold for us.
I have been to Sapa and it's been freezing. I have had a big puffer jacket on. And I go straight to my hotel. I get under the doona and I am freezing. Like January is freezing. So September to November is the best weather for golden, right?
Yeah.
March to May is pleasant and blooming flowers. Yeah. This is just what I write to myself. December to February is cold, very cold, but it is it's kind of misty, isn't it? It kind of gets a little bit.
Yeah, now it's very misty.
Yeah, but you're sitting there with a big puffer jacket, a North Face puffer jacket. So, and it is March. So, yeah. And then June to August is green, very green.
Green,
very green. Yeah. Okay. So, everyone, please go back and check those months of the year and plan and pack accordingly. I cannot stress it enough. I ran around Hanoi desperately trying to find a puffer jacket because I was only going to Sapa and Mai Chau, and I froze. I was really cold in February, beginning of February. So I learnt my lesson. So I try to tell people, wise up. It's really important.
Yeah.
And if you're on a bike or an easy rider or whatever, even colder.
That is cold.
Oh, man, is it cold. If you were to tell people anything else that they need to know, what would that be?
Whatever you plan, you have to know what you want to do. Like if you go by car, you don't need to plan, like carry too many things, but motorbike, you definitely want to have a good shoes because when your shoes get wet, you're cold if you're easy rider, and you need to have a good rain jacket. When you get wet, everything is not feeling good and cold.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at packing, really bad. So I have suggested to people in the past that they arrange with their hotel in Hanoi when they come back to stay in that same hotel and leave the bulk of their luggage in the hotel, and the hotel will look after it, because you don't really want to be lugging around 23 kg luggage and a backpack and another carry-on and whatever, because you've been shopping or whatever.
Yeah. Bring just enough for you. If you want more, you can always buy. Very cheap.
Yeah. Ying, I wonder if you could tell us just maybe one story about some travellers that you took around, like a story about their experience, and explain what you did and what was the highlight.
The local, authentic, and the basically local and the market. The market, it's very beautiful and highly recommend. It's the Mio Vat and Dong Van market. They are the most beautiful and colorful, and it's still very traditional. They don't have like too many tourists go in that market. Only the people who stay overnight in the area, they go.
Okay. If there was one story that you could tell about something that happened along the way around the Ha Giang Loop, what would that story be?
Beautiful story. It's the market in the Kenya. It's very beautiful. So a lot of people want to go to the boat riding below the Mapilan mountain. That's beside the China border and Vietnam. So the river, you go and you will experience beautiful. And basically lots of people go there because they're so pretty. The one thing, we only have like 40 minutes on the boat. So you can take a swimming there and you can have lunch there. And then you can back on the boat, off the boat after you finish.
Oh, okay. And what day would you do that on? Day 3?
We'll be on the day 2.
On day 2. Okay. All right. And the other thing I didn't ask you about was the food. Tell us a little bit about some of the unique food in the area.
Okay. So the local food up in Ha Giang, it's a little bit more like Chinese. The way they cook. Normally we're sharing the food together. We order like pork, 1 plate pork, chicken or duck or veggie. We have lots of greens, so we will order like few different dishes and we share them with a group. And in the nighttime, we have a steam bowl, like a hot pot. So that is very Chinese, and a lot of time everybody like it. Mostly, I always have that for dinner because it's a little bit colder in the nighttime. So we have that for dinner. Then you can go to see the in Dong Van. There's a night market on the Saturday night, and on the Friday night they do a little bit of dancing. You can also join them too.
That brings up another point then. Like, should people come on the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those days rather than during the week?
Yeah, I also recommend that too. In the week, it's a little bit more quiet if you don't want to see too many people, because on Saturday and Sunday, it's a lot of Vietnamese travelers. They go to that area.
Yeah.
It's going to be busy, but it's beautiful too.
As far as the language is concerned, not many people speak English up there, do they?
Yeah, Ha Giang don't have too many people speak English. It's now start some younger boy, they want to learn and they want to do the easy rider, but to be a tour guide, there's no.
What would you say about, is it safe for a woman solo traveller to come on their own to this area?
It's safe. Yeah, it is very safe.
Okay.
But what you plan, you have to be careful with the company. That's all.
Yes.
Yeah, because when you book, they don't refund you.
They don't refund you, yeah. You know, like I know some very adventurous women who travel from the US and Europe because they do lots of trekking in their own countries, etc. So I want to make sure when I say, you know, you can feel safe to come, I would get them to get in touch with you so that you can set them up. Because to me, part of the safety factor is in about who you deal with. So I always make sure that I deal with reputable companies that I know and trust, that I've dealt with, and I'm confident then in sending them up that way.
Yeah, definitely.
Now,
understandable.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I mean, there's lots of talk about the future of Ha Giang tourism. What would you say the future is for Ha Giang?
The future is going to be touristy and very remotely. I mean, lots of things are coming up now. Building homestay on the roadside, it's a little bit not so pretty anymore. Day by day, I'm traveling there every week. So I see change very much.
And is that change not so good? Do you think it will spoil it?
Yes. Well, too many buildings and they are not traditional. So it's not pretty. But there is a place you can go just a little bit further. You just have to find it out.
I really do want to encourage my listeners to, explore, do your research about this area. I'll definitely put Ying's details in the notes, as I said. I just want to say thank you, Ying, for coming on the show and for, giving us this information because it's truly valuable.
I am very happy that you invite me to. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for listening. Check out the episode notes for more information.
What about Vietnam?
Don't forget to subscribe, rate and review, and stay tuned for more fun adventures in Vietnam.
What about Vietnam?